Welcome. In this tutorial I will show you how to edit your film using Hitfilm. We're using Hitfilm Express. The reason I've chosen this software is because it's free and has over 1 million users. So if you have a question, you can easily ask those users and you're likely to get an answer. It's also equivalent to more expensive professional software, so the skills you learn here will be able to be used in that software. I'll show you how to import your footage and how to make a basic edit, or a rough cut as it's known in the industry. So what you can see now is the home screen. We're going to be working across these tabs at the top. So on the home screen you can see tips and tricks from the community, and Hitfilm's also used for special effects. So you can learn all of these once you know how to do a basic edit. So what we want to do first is click on New to start a new project. Our project needs settings for YouTube because that's where the video is going to go once we've edited it. So we need 1080p full HD at 25 frames per second. You click on the down arrow here, you can see there's a few choices. So if we were putting our film on Instagram or somewhere else, we can choose those. But for our project, we need this one. So we're going to now click on Start Editing. And as you can see, we've gone from Home through Project Settings to Edit. So we've worked across these tabs at the top. Now I can see 4 parts to my screen. I want to make sure that your screen looks like mine. So if you click on this button here, you can change your workspace. So we want ours to be set up for editing. Here on the left we can see the trimmer. This is where you cut your footage. In the viewer you can see what you're doing in the trimmer, and you can preview your content. At the bottom here we've got the library, which at the moment I can't see all of the library, so I'm going to click and drag until I can see all of these tabs here. I want to set this space so that I've got as much space on my editor, which is like a timeline. This is where we put our clips, because I'm going to need to put lots of content on here, so I need a nice big space here to put it into. So the library is where we import our clips. Now I'm ready to import one of my clips. So to do this, you can click on Import here, or you can double click here, and I've stored my footage on my desktop. You can store it anywhere on your computer, but I would suggest that you give it a name that you're going to remember. So I can hold down Shift, click on all of my 3 clips and open those. So now you can see that my video's appeared in the trimmer. My timeline has nothing on it yet, so the first job that I need to do is actually to set up some in and out points. So if you look here on the bottom of the trimmer, you can hover over each of the controls and it will tell you what it does. So if I click play, so if you can introduce yourself, I can listen to my clip. If you look at the camera.
My name is Seger.
And I can pause that. So if I go back a little bit, I can scrub backwards and forwards with this line here. So I'm now click pause, and I'm going to set an in point here. So this is where the beginning of my clip is going to start. So I've cut off all of the part at the beginning where you could hear me talking to my interviewee. So to do this, I can click on Set In Point, then I can press play.
My name is Seger. I'm from Estonia and I've also lived in Sweden.
Now I know that he stops there, so I'm going to pause it and I'm going to set my out point. And then I can click and drag this onto the timeline I don't want to change my settings. I'm going to leave those set up for YouTube. And now you can see that I've actually got a clip on my timeline. In the timeline here at the bottom, I can move this slider, so that's the play head, backwards and forwards so that I can decide which part to play. And I can press the space bar to play it.
I also lived in Sweden.
Okay. Now, the clip is actually quite small, so what I can do is I can use this slider down here at the bottom to make it a little bit bigger. And now you'll see that you actually can see the image that appears, and you can see the audio at the bottom. That can help when you're editing. So I know he's not speaking here because there's no peaks, and he stops speaking there. Now I want to leave a natural pause in the conversation before I put the next part of my clip on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play again.
And where are your parents from, Edgar?
Now I don't want to start there because, as you can see, he's got his eyes shut. So as soon as I finish speaking, so I can go back frame by frame here by using this control, and I can set myself another in point there. Press play.
So both of my parents are from Estonia originally. I've got some German and Swedish heritage, and from my mother's side I actually got some Asian heritage as well.
And again, I'm using this tool to just skip through the frames, and now I can start to hear myself speaking again. So this can help to give you a little bit more finer control over what you're editing. I'm going to set that as my out point, and again drag that clip on. And now, as you can see, I can't see all of my clips at the same time, so what I could do is zoom out with this slider at the bottom here, or if I'm struggling to see that, I can zoom in and I can move this slider across. So this helps you to move around the timeline. I'm going to press the space bar here.
Asian heritage as well.
Okay, so I'm just making a rough edit at the moment. I can fine-tune this later. So what I'd suggest that you do is try and get some of your clips on the timeline, so you've got a rough edit together, and then we'll try and improve on that.